Hi everybody. So my name is Justin. So I'm the creator of this YouTube page. Um, Weird name, I know. Give me a reason, Elmo. That just came from it was an old Saturday Night Live episode a while back where it was on the Weekend Update where they were talking about the hottest toys for Christmas, and Tickle Me Elmo was one of the hottest toys for Christmas, and Seth Meyers made the joke that one of the New York neighborhoods was so rough that the hottest toy there was "Give Me a Reason, Elmo," and they showed like a picture of Elmo with a knife. I thought that was funny. Um, but anyway, so I'm coming to you from La Crosse, Wisconsin, is where I live. So forgive my accent if I have a Wisconsin accent here. I'm just a huge country music fan, and I imagine a lot of you are too, and that's probably why you subscribe to the channel, because you want to hear some good music. So I started this out because there was a lot of songs that I like that I couldn't find on YouTube when I kind of first started this. So I made these videos on YouTube to kind of share them with everybody, a lot of my favorite songs, because I have a large collection of albums, CDs. I have a lot of CDs, and a lot of these album cuts you don't really hear on the radio, and you sometimes if you don't buy the album you never hear them. So we recently moved into this new house, so I'm currently in the basement of our new house, and we moved everything over here. So my CD collection is still in boxes, kind of waiting to be kind of put up on shelves, and I kind of wanted to go through and kind of chronicle everything that I have for albums, and kind of review all the CDs and tell you about if it's something that's worth getting, if there's a hidden gem kind of track on there maybe you haven't heard, I want to tell you about it, and then just kind of go through randomly, pick them out of the box, and review them. But today I wanted to start with the first one I wanted to start with reviewing was Eric Church, Desperate Man. There it is. Because I just bought this. I wasn't a huge fan when the song Desperate Man came out. I wasn't a huge fan of this kind of Eric Church's newly created genre. He's kind of headed a different direction away from his normal country music roots. I miss the good old days of Eric Church where it was, I know where I come from, how about you? And this is anything but that. But so I wasn't a huge fan of Desperate Man, so I didn't really buy the album right away. I didn't think, it was okay. I bought his last album, and there was some songs on there. It wasn't quite like this one. It was kind of headed in this direction. But that last album, they had "Kill a Word" was on there, and "Record Year" was on there. And when I first heard those songs, I knew those were good songs. And on this album, I just I opened it up, gave a listen to it. Well, and the reason I bought it was I was listening to XM one day, and I heard some of it come on the radio. So I said, well, that's a really good song. I need to buy this album and hear the rest of it. So I got it and went through it last night, listened to all the tracks, and I really liked. It's called, which one is it? Hippie Radio was a good song. So I don't know how many of you have listened to this, but check out Hippie Radio. It's pretty good. But of course some of it. And then what I always do when I get a CD is I go through the liner notes and see who the songwriters are, because that'll tell you a lot about what songs are going to be good, and I try to listen to those songs first. So on this album, there's a lot of Casey Beathard. There's a couple Casey Beathard songs. And Casey Beathard's always, you open up a CD and you see Casey Beathard in the liner notes, and it's reliably going to be a good song. But a couple that he wrote here with Eric Church, again, they're out there. I don't know if they're going their own direction with this. So, but the one, obviously my favorite song on here is "Some of It," and one of the writers on that, a couple of the writers on that, along with Eric Church, I think the other one was Jeff Hyde, but Bobby Pinson and Clint Daniels. So Bobby Pinson, he kind of had his own career. He had a couple albums out, which I have in my boxes back here that I'll get to. But he's a really good songwriter. He wrote a lot of songs with Toby Keith, and even the songs on his own albums, very good songs, very introspective kind of songs, and hard living kind of stuff. Really good stuff. Really a lot of thoughtful stuff. And Clint Daniels he had his own career too back in like the late 90s. He put out an album. He had a pretty popular song off of that album. It was called Fool's Progress. I'm just bringing you up to date on a fool's progress. So that song, check that song out. It's out there on YouTube if you want to hear that song. But he's a good songwriter too. He's written some other stuff too. But yeah, so you see those guys kind of come together and make a good song like some of it. But overall, you know, the CD it's okay. I don't know that anything really jumps out to me. It's really even the Desperate Man track written. I believe with Wylie Hubbard was the other writer on that. Check this out here. But he, let's see. Yeah, Wylie Hubbard and Eric Church. So he's an older country kind of guy. Kind of that's his kind of sound too. But a lot of the music that I have that I wanna really go through and review is a lot of 90s country, a lot of early 2000s, a little bit of late 80s. Really when, you know, country music was country music. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of this new stuff you hear on the radio now. A few things here and there stand out to me. I actually just today, for the first time on the radio, heard Eli Young Band, Where Were You? Check that song out. I thought that was pretty good. And I'm not a huge fan of Eli Young either. It sounds like I'm not a huge fan of a lot of things, doesn't it? But Eli Young Band, you know, I've never really been sold on them. But that was a pretty good song. And I also like their last song, Love Ain't. It was pretty good. But a lot of the stuff on the radio right now is just, I don't know. I think it's just a lot of, and there's videos out there on YouTube too where it's just a lot of snap tracks, just clap tracks, just kind of talk rapping over it. And not a huge fan of that. I like more of that traditional country sound, and it's out there to be had. There's still a lot of that going on. It's just not really getting a lot of airplay on the radio. But what I have in my collection is a lot of that stuff, and we'll go over some of those things. I'm try to make a video every week or so and just go through all these albums, and I really just want to kind of, I guess, keep a record then for myself of what I have, because there's been a couple times where I've bought an album off of Amazon, I get it home, and then I realize I already have this album. So I bought a couple twice, so I really need to kind of catalog everything I have so I don't end up doing that again. But hopefully you guys will like these videos. I'll start going through and I'll start just randomly pick out of the box and review them. We'll talk about who the songwriters are and what to listen for and what some good tracks are. So, but again, thank everyone. I want to thank everyone for all the subscribes, the likes, all the plays you guys have been. It really shows that you guys like country music, and hopefully I can steer you in the right direction on maybe some good songs that you haven't heard. So, all right. Thanks for your time. We'll see you on the next video.